Many inventions have changed the world quite like the mobile phone has. In 1973, the first ever call was made from a phone dubbed the Brick because of its size. Simon McGregor Wood looks at how much has changed since then.
They are an inseparable part of our lives, from rare high-tech novelty to a thing almost everyone has, and all in 40 years. 40 years to the day since this man, Martin Cooper, using that phone, made the first ever mobile phone call. His phone weighed over 1 kilo and its battery lasted just 20 minutes. Much has changed, and given the phones weren't widely available or affordable until the mid to late 1980s, the pace of that change has been incredible. In its first 40 years, the mobile phone's progress has gone from zero to saturation point. Annual revenues of the mobile phone industry today are worth $1.2 trillion. There are 7 billion mobile phone customers. In 2012, there were 1.75 billion mobile phone sales. The first year's sales went down. It is predicted that in 2013 there will be more mobile phones and subscriptions than people on the planet.
Mobile telephones today are so much more than mobile telephones. They've become devices for taking and sharing pictures, of connecting to the internet, of sending and receiving texts and emails. In a way, they've become the fulcrum around which so much of our lives are today balanced. It's difficult to remember what life was like without them.
The sheer ambition of the technology is fascinating. I mean, if you look at major news events that have happened over the past 5-10 years, you look at the likes of Syria, the likes of Egypt, for example. I mean, part of that has been mobile. People have learned about the issues involved because of mobile phones and because of watching videos filmed by people on the ground. I mean, it's a very, very powerful technology.
Their spread has revolutionized the way we do business. Mobile phone shops dominate our urban landscape. Our increasing reliance on them has even changed our behavior and the way we interact with the real world around us. For now, most of us think it's all for the better. Probably. And as to the next 40 years of the mobile phone and what will they bring, the experts will tell you they simply don't know. Simon McGregor Wood, Al Jazeera, London.
So you saw him in our report, and I am pleased to say that Martin Cooper, who made that first call from a mobile phone in 1973, joins us now from Del Mar in California. Martin, good to talk to you. How are you, sir?
I'm just wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm terrific. Better now that I'm talking to you. But how does it feel? You don't get to ask this question of many people, but how does it feel to have literally changed the world?
Well, as long as you say that it's for the better, it feels wonderful.
Yeah, I think so. Would you agree that it's changed it for the better?
Oh, I think so. I'm inspired when I see the way in which people use their phones to make their lives better. And of course, that's the whole purpose of any technology. If it doesn't make your life better, it's not good technology.
You have a sense of satisfaction? Are you gratified with what your contribution is to communications?
Well, for the most part, yes. But I think we've only just started. I think that the potential for improving people's lives by connecting them using the phone, using computer technology, using the internet, the potential is much, much greater than what we've done. We're about to have revolutions that will make the cell phone revolution fail.
Really? Did you have a lot of naysayers back in the day, as we say, who thought the work that you and your team were doing was essentially a waste of time?
Oh, absolutely. We had a marketing expert tell us that the total potential for cell phones in London was 12,000 users. He said we'd never have any more than that. So we spent at Motorola $100 million between 1973 and 1983 without getting any revenues. Well, you could imagine what our financial people thought about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Martin, what was your reaction when you made that first call from Manhattan, and who did you call?
Well, the reaction was very positive because remember now, this was a one-of-a-kind phone, and the fact that it worked was just wonderful. But I decided, I was with a journalist like yourself, and I decided the guy that I ought to call is my counterpart at the Bell System. the concept of cellular was created by Bell Laboratories, and they were building what they thought was going to be the first cell system.
Yeah.
And it was going to be car telephones. Can you imagine that? We've been trapped 100 years in our houses and tied to our desks, and now we're going to be trapped in our cars.
Wow.
And we thought the time was ready for personal communication. So I called Joel Engel, and I said, Joel, I'm calling you from a cell phone, a real cell phone,
Wow.
a personal, portable, handheld cell phone. And there was silence at the other end of the line. And to this day, Joel doesn't remember that call, and I'm not sure I blame.
Hey, why did it take, this is a little footnote that maybe a lot of folks aren't aware of, but why did it take so long? I did some reading that says it took about 17 years from that initial phone call for mobile communications to really become fully developed and marketed to the world. Why did it take so long?
Well, the first 10 years, it took us that long just to make this technology practical.
Yeah.
Remember, there were no personal computers, no digital cameras, none of those, no internet, none of those things existed in 1973. So we had the technology. We had to go through the bureaucratic processes of picking out who were going to be the carriers. So it took 10 years just to have the first commercial cell phone. And then a handheld cell phone in 1983 cost $4,000 US.
Wow.
That's equivalent to about $10,000 today. So it took a while to get the price down so that many people could afford it.
Martin, what a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations. You changed the world, doggone it. It's a real pleasure to speak with you.
Delighted to talk to you as well.
My pleasure. All right, let's get to the day in sports now. The man is here, Rahul.
10 grand for a phone. You can probably afford that, Tony. We're going to start in Spain, where both of Wednesday's Champions League quarter-finals first legs are taking place. 9-time winners Real Madrid are hosting Turkey's Galatasaray. Real coach Jose Mourinho hooking up with two of his former charges in Didier Drogba and Wesley Sneijder. Just a few minutes gone there, 0-0 at the Bernabeu. Meanwhile, many people's dark horses for the competition, Borussia Dortmund, take their unbeaten record in this season's competition to Malaga, also goalless there. Meanwhile, Real Madrid are one of the clubs being investigated by the European Commission for receiving illegal state aid. The club were alleged to have colluded with their city council over the price of land around the Bernabeu Stadium.
We are obviously looking at these allegations, including those concerning Real Madrid. But at this stage, we are analyzing information which is available to us, and the Commission hasn't yet decided if it's going to open up a formal investigation.
Well, back to the Champions League, and Leo Messi's hamstring injury may not be as bad as first feared. He could be back to face PSG